So I just want to let everybody know out there, I'm doing this one chip challenge thing. All right, we know that with the fantasy bets. I'm a man of my word, which, by the way, really tied right now for second.
Big win
overall
for
in the league
last week.
Had a good win against Blaine last week. He will be taking a pie in the face at some point, which he has no idea when that's going to happen.
My favorite.
There will be cameras rolling. It probably will happen on here at some point. We're just going to have to really kind of, get the maps out and figure out how we want to go about it. But this one chip challenge thing, guys, I've done a little bit of research. All right, like I said, I'm doing it. All right, I'm doing it. I'm all in.
I heard it's bad.
I'm Chris Moneymaker. I'm pushing all the chips in the middle. It does not look like a good time.
It doesn't look good.
Like, I've eaten hot foods, man. Like ghost peppers.
Pepper Palace?
Pepper Palace?
The Black Death?
Yeah, go check out the hot sauce challenge we did.
The Black Death.
Blaine looked like Ron Burgundy drinking milk in the
Ben
middle of
Affleck
the
moment for
afternoon.
sure.
That was a true Ben Affleck moment for you.
That's the one time I've ever scared the person who's worked at CVS. Like, he probably thought it was like a zombie apocalypse.
It's happening.
Something. I ran in there, like,
people
looked
must
at
run
him,
in there
shake
all the
my head,
time.
and just ran in, opened, and started chugging milk. He had no idea what was
He
going
thought you were doing this.
I thought that was part of the whole business plan. The ice cream store across the street,
it's a
milk on the
great
corner.
business plan.
Pepper Palace has this whole thing in New Orleans where they're...
Look, I feel there's a real like Breaking Bad situation going on with the Pepper Palace. That everything just makes too much sense around it. But in reality, if you watch, and I'm going to do it either today, tomorrow at some point with Michael Knowles, the reactions look genuine. You know how you have people that like over-exaggerate for views and stuff? They're like, oh, it's just the hottest thing ever of all time. These people, the look in their face, I can tell.
It looks legit.
It looks like legitimate. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, is part of me a little bit worried? Is part of me a little excited? I don't know. Maybe.
Are you kind of excited?
I mean, to be worried.
I think, you're just worried.
So
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of excitement and
You're
worry.
just worried. It was
this whole bet thing really took off. I mean,
really-
obviously the winner gets the golden tumbler, but now we've had these bets.
When are you rocking the
So
shirt?
yes, I was going to update. So we have the straight jacket is on its way.
It's on
We
its
got
way.
legit straight.
Which
jacket.
I'm gonna wear that during maybe half the show.
You're going to do the one chip challenge. We already have McKenna's Treats making up a pie for us for your pie in the
yes.
face, and then the Mets jersey has arrived for our interview with Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, I
I
do.
thought we were just whipped cream in the pie. It was
Huh?
just whipped cream.
We thought about it. We're probably gonna do ice cream
McKenna's
cake.
Treats is whipping something up, and you'll
Let's
look.
not waste a delicious pie on my face.
Look.
How could you ever say that? As
You'll
someone
You'll
who
know it
loves
when
pie
it
as much
just
as you.
you'll know it when it just comes up and slaps you in the face, buddy. You'll know what it is.
Every Thursday
all right?
to me.
It gives a whole new meaning to the life of pie. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers continue to struggle. Big Game Boomer's going to join us to break down college football's most overrated teams. And the Patriots bench Mac Jones in favor of Bailey Zappe, who is probably still Mac Jones. I'm Jay Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Some people are defined by their work. Some people fear that if they stop working, they will not only lose purpose, but will also lose the way they contribute to our society. Now, others can't wait to retire and move on down to Florida for that next chapter. But if you're the former, then you can probably empathize a little bit more with Tom Brady. It seems that Tom is one of those people that just can't put the game down. Now, that's a whole heck of a lot easier said than done. And when you've reached the mountaintops as many times as he has, while continuing to prove all the doubters wrong, it must make it that much harder. But now combine Brady getting older with a Bucs team that is a walking triage tent right now when it comes to injuries, and you get a squad that struggles out of the gate and loses to the lowly Panthers by double digits. Now, in some professions, you can get away with staying around until you're 80 or having to drink dinner through a straw. Hell, in football, you can even coach practically forever, like Joe Pa and some others have shown us. But all players have an expiration date. It seems that everything going on with Tom Brady is out of whack right now. The team is struggling. His marriage seems to be struggling. And it seems he may have to actually make a final decision sooner rather than later. Now, we've seen other quarterbacks take a while to retire, like the Brett Favre saga. You've seen someone who knows how to go out on top, a la Peyton Manning. But either way, Tom Brady deserves to choose how he goes out, seeing as he is the GOAT. And just like anything you're in love with, football is something that is very hard to walk away from. Because it's not just the touchdowns or the incredible throws. It's the companionships and relationships formed in the locker room. Being around a group that is pushing to achieve one goal while relishing the successes and the failures because they both move you forward. It's that feeling in the tunnel as you walk toward that big slice of turf or that nice cut of grass that will be shaking due to the decibel level of the crowd. Now, while your heart is racing, you're still somehow a little bit calm. It's celebrating with your brothers after a huge stop or a successful drive. And finally, it's the look after the game from your loved ones and teammates, knowing that you accomplished something very difficult and you did it together. It's all of that, mostly behind the scenes, but as a player, it's always in the forefront of your mind. Now, I hope Tampa turns it around. Tom is able to get back into the hunt for one more ring. But if it is over, and I mean truly over for the GOAT, maybe this time he'll stay in the pasture, as hard as that may be. But I do know 2 boys and a girl, plus a supermodel, who will be pretty damn happy that he finally is. I'm going to go and bring in David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, Heisman candidate. My brother Blaine Crane, former Western State Colorado wide receiver.
Jacked and
future
tan.
gubernatorial candidate and current NFL free agent. Packers, y'all need some help or what? Guys, the Tom Brady thing is interesting, and it's still early in the season. They're going to get some guys back. You know, I don't think Mike Evans is going to drop balls like he did last week. I don't think Fournette and that offensive line is going to be as bad as they were last week. Mm-hmm. But just like milk, just like eggs, just like cheese, and just like elected officials, well, in some cases, there is an expiration date for everyone. Mm-hmm. Father Time from a playing standpoint, not from a coaching standpoint, but from a playing standpoint, especially in the NFL, which is about as athletic as it gets when it comes down to it. There is an expiration date. And it seems as though if you mix this Bucs team that's struggling with Tom, who continues to get older, and I'm not saying Tom is the reason they're struggling. I think Tom Brady can still be effective, but he is not getting any younger. It's not going to get any easier, and you're seeing some other big dogs start to climb up to the top. You look at Josh Allen. You look at what Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have been able to do. It seems, Cone, I'm really feeling that this year may be it for Tom Brady, because I think you're seeing it kind of crumble from all angles. And I think he is smart enough to be able to sit back and make a decision at the end that's the next 40 years, not the next 3 or 4.
The most surprising part of watching this right now with Tom Brady and this Bucs team is that there wasn't a fall off for him last year after winning the Super Bowl in 2020. I mean, he led the league in yards and touchdowns last season, whereas when Peyton Manning won his Super Bowl in Denver, you could tell that he wasn't throwing the deep ball as well. You could tell that the Broncos were really leaning on that defense a lot, and he was able to win one more and then sort of go on top.
They had to 3D print a new neck for him.
Yeah, and that was part of it too, the injuries, which is something else that, that didn't hold Tom Brady back last year. I mean, he led the league. That's the part of it that's surprising to me. And while they don't have a Gronkowski anymore, and AB's, they've dealt with the Antonio Brown drama, they still have a lot of weapons. Now, Blaine talks a lot about the offensive line, and it's not good. But I'm looking here at the NFC, and they're sitting there at 3-4. Okay, the Packers are also 3-4, who are an NFC, favorite. San Francisco is also 3-4. I'm looking at a Rams team right now that's 3-3. All of a sudden, you have the Giants are 6-1. Will that continue? You have the Seahawks leading their division at 4-3. Will that continue? So I'm looking at the NFC is still up for grabs. Tom Brady has never panicked in October and November, right? He knows that if he can just get to the playoffs, it's a 4-game stretch. It's a 4-game stretch, and you want to take Tom Brady in those situations. At the same time, on the flip side of that coin, I have the schedule like we talked about yesterday, where I'm looking at Ravens next, then Rams, Seattle, Cleveland.
That's what I'm looking at.
There's not a game on the Bucs schedule I'm looking at right now that I say is a guaranteed win.
Yeah, and I want to put this in perspective too, because when I look at Tom Brady, I look at one thing: can they win a Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. He's earned that right. Yeah. When it comes to even making the playoffs, that hasn't even been a forethought in my mind of a Tom Brady-led team not making the playoffs. That could happen this year. And I think if they don't make the playoffs, that will do it. I think that will do it. But I don't want this to come off as me again saying, Blaine, that Tom Brady is the reason the Bucs are struggling. I just don't think when you look at what's around in some of these other offenses, even with what the Bucs have, I don't think Tom Brady can find a way to manufacture enough points to keep up with the Bills, to keep up with the Chiefs. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you're giving up 21 to the Panthers for that Buccaneers defense, God knows what the Bills are going to do to you. God knows what the Chiefs are going to do to you when it comes down to it. The games that you look at Tom Brady and say, that's why Tom Brady's Tom Brady, I don't know if he gets there number one this year, and I'm not saying he's panicking. I don't think the team's that good, but I don't know if they do get there, if Tom Brady is going to be able to outscore some of the newer blood. Because again, these younger guys, while they're getting older into their prime. They're getting into the level of you have that much experience where you can go out and dominate, not just physically. We're seeing that. We're seeing it with more guys than just Patrick and Josh. I mean, look at Lamar, and I know the Ravens aren't exactly blowing it out of the water in the second half, but you have guys that are very, very dynamic that can find a way to manufacture points. When it comes down to it, I don't think the Bucs are good enough, and I don't think Tom Brady's going to be able to manufacture enough points to beat the Bills. You're not beating the Bills 17-14, okay? You're not beating the Chiefs 13-10. Packers are a different story because they got less weapons in Ukraine right now. But Blaine, your thoughts on Tommy B?
Okay, so there's two things I'll never do in my life. I've talked about this. One, bet against Nick Saban, and bet against Tom Brady. Do I look worried? You're in the NFC South. All right, I know you're not going to win the Super Bowl this year.
That's what I'm talking. That's why is Tom doing
the
this?
Other team.
He's not doing this to win the NFC South.
The Bills are too good. Obviously Tom wants to win a Super Bowl, but the roster's just not good enough. Even with a healthy O-line, I don't think the roster's good enough to win a Super Bowl. I don't think that defense, let's go back to, I know Tom led the league in passing yards, but what did they do really well? Played great defense and ran the ball extremely well. A lot of their offense was built on what? The play-action game. And Tom's phenomenal at that. Tom will get you in the right look where you need to be, but at the end of the day, other people have to do their job. I don't know of a quarterback you could put on the Buccaneers right now, right? Maybe Josh Allen, just because of mobility. Maybe Patrick Mahomes.
I put Lamar Jackson on there.
Maybe Lamar Jackson. That could take them all the way. But I do think they'll be fine. I do think they'll be figured out. They still have one of the best receiving cores, in my opinion. I mean, you got Mike Evans, who's an elite receiver. I mean, you got, God, I can't remember his name. Slot.
You got Godwin.
Godwin. I mean, you have Kyle Rudolph at tight end. I mean, you have Leonard Fournette at back, who's also great out of the backfield catching passes. This team is still good. You're just so beat up front. And the offensive line, if you can't run the ball, you're not going to win a lot of games. Let's go look at the Giants right now. The Giants are running the ball and playing defense.
Look at the Jets.
That's what they're doing. The Jets right now, the Jets defense is elite, although they're going through some injuries right now. Breece Hall tore his ACL.
That was tough.
Pretty sure their tackle tore their ACL. He's out for the year, so I'd like to see what the Jets kind of look like. But it's kind of a new look right now in the NFL, in my opinion, of teams that are just running the ball and playing defense. I mean, I know you got the Bills and the Josh Allens. You got the Chiefs and the Patrick Mahomes. But then you kind of go lower than that. And when you see the Eagles, what are the Eagles doing really well?
Titans?
The Titans running the ball and playing defense. So it's kind of a flip a little bit in the NFL, not because we're slowly migrating to a passing league. But it's kind of going back to a little bit like, hey, we're going to turn around and hand the ball off. All right, stay on schedule, and we're going to play good defense. So I'll never worry about Tom Brady. I think they will figure it out. They'll get to the point where you just got to get healthy. It kind of reminds me of the 49ers a little bit. Everyone doubts the 49ers until they're somehow in the playoffs in a championship game because the 49ers have always done what well? Run the ball and play good defense.
Yeah, we know running the ball and playing defense is big, but I look at Tom Brady right now, and what I guess it boils down to this. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Because we see what's going on in the periphery with Tom at home and stuff like that with Giselle. It's something at this point, is the juice worth the squeeze?
That's an interesting question. And I just think about the legacy. To me, I don't think there's anything that Tom Brady could do that ruins his legacy.
No, I don't prescribe to that argument.
And I don't think that Tom Brady needs to win another Super Bowl this season in order to be able to walk away. He already beat the odds by winning one after leaving Bill Belichick. But I'll tell you what really you don't want to do is have your first losing season in your last year and miss the playoffs and then, not be able to come back next year. Because that's where it really gets tricky to me. Like, what if the Buccaneers have a losing season and miss the playoffs? We're having a different conversation then. Does Tom Brady feel the need to come back next season then to sort of right that ship? Then that's a situation where you're looking like he's 46 at that time. Is the body starting to fall apart? And now you're trying to press a little bit, even with some of the weapons around him are leaving or getting worse.
Tell us in the comments. Like and subscribe. Tell us in the comments, do you think Tom Brady, is this his last year or not? Before we get to the Booster Club, do want to let you guys know, put out a Google form on our tweet, on Facebook, on Instagram, where you can do your booster bets. Just go in there, fill it out. This way we can track your wins, losses, percentage, which team's giving you the most units. It's a total overhaul because we love the Booster Club and we want to give you the best stuff. 16 years old and got a Maserati? Guess Daddy must be doing well. Also, want to give a shout out to Hooters for getting us VIP cards, guys.
Yes.
I didn't even know if this is a real thing. All right, absolutely love Hooters. Show it to him, Cone. That's free food till 2023. In this economy, come on, go check out Hooters. We love it. The Daytona-style wings, those are my favorite.
Those are
Tell
my
them the
favorite,
Crane
too.
Company sent you.
Those are my favorite too, guys.
Those are your favorite, too?
Those are my favorite too.
Cool.
You like the Daytonas?
I love them. So I go to Hooters.
There you go.
Eat fresh.
You want some Booster Club action?
Let's
First
do
of all,
it.
Booster Club. Hey, let's wake up. Let's make sure we're on it today. I want a lot of violence in the chat today.
Violence?
I want people starting arguments for no reason. Welcome to
Nebraska
my life.
fans?
Yeah. No, we'll get into Nebraska fans. Actually, we have a donation. After a donation that I get to. Let's get to Michael Hotchfielder first.
Ooh.
What's up, Mike? He says, is this happening because AB isn't there anymore?
I mean, I think AB at this point would only make it worse.
Yeah.
Who knows? He's probably like licking wallpaper somewhere in an abandoned house right now. I think it kind of started in that motion a little bit with the AB thing, but Tom Brady has dealt with guys. I mean, look, he played with Aaron Hernandez for a while. He's dealt with guys in the locker room that are a little bit different and a little bit out there. I think it's a culmination of everything. I don't think that it's one specific thing where you can narrow it down to one point and say, this is the reason. I think it's 3 or 4 things, and half of them don't take place on a football field, in a locker room, or at a football facility that's going to come together to make this decision. I really honestly believe that Tom Brady, this is last year.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Her Dizzle, $5 donation.
Her Dizzle.
Okay, here we go. It says, as a Husker fan,
Here we go.
I just want to apologize for the attack on Auburn yesterday. Auburn deserves better, and so does Nebraska. College football is better with parity.
I love that. Her Dizzle. I want to give you a $5 donation.
Her
Is there a
Dizzle.
redonate button?
I don't know, but we'll look into
You
that.
need to look into that.
Look, it all
Get IT on it.
It all started with the attack on Auburn for no reason. I don't even know what
It was an unprovoked attack.
Obviously, he was.
They
upset.
Draymond Greened you. They
Yeah.
Draymond Greened.
Yeah, obviously, he was upset about something that maybe happened on a.
No, you said that. No, I know what he's upset about. A couple shows
Okay, that's what
before,
I'm saying.
you
Had to
said
be a
that
different
Nebraska
show.
doesn't matter anymore. That's why you hit him right in the field.
Yeah, that was a couple shows ago. I mean,
Look, people don't forget.
I mean, they do. It's in 3rd grade. You know, I mean, people do forget.
Nah, not really. Not
What are you
that.
talking about, man?
Not that.
You never seen Superbad, Dave?
Huh?
No.
Yeah, that was years ago. I saw it.
Years
I saw
So
it.
people do forget.
Years
Thank
You're
you.
not,
ago.
you're not
Yeah,
gonna.
so people
You're not
years
gonna. If
ago.
someone calls
All right.
Auburn mediocre, you're not gonna forget that.
Well, Auburn is mediocre. All right, but I can go back to, well, let's talk about in the 70s when Evan ran the ball 90% of the time, how good we were.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that. I'm just saying, I don't
I don't
have hate for
I don't like
Nebraska.
you hating on older
I don't have hate
generations
in
of
Nebraska,
football.
but it's every day.
Blaine's into ages.
It's every day
ageist,
about
man.
Nebraska.
You're an ageist.
This
One
and
day it's
that,
Babe
this
Ruth,
and that.
you
They
know.
just quit crying. Just quit crying. Quit crying and get to work.
Yeah.
Win some games, all right?
Brick by
if you
brick.
stop talking about it and being about it, we wouldn't have this conversation.
Ooh, I like that.
All right, let's go back to Michael Hotchfelder. He's hot today in the chat with
Yeah?
donations. $4.99
Oh,
donation.
That button can you get excited about.
At Tone, he says, what is the chance that history repeats itself and Michigan wins the Big Ten only to lose to their SEC team in the playoffs?
Like so much of that started on the right track.
Yeah.
and
Cohen
then
was like,
the chances are pretty good. I have to say. Well, first of all, look, I'm not going to be the one to jinx Michigan football. I already told y'all that, and I'm not even talking about that game in Columbus until we handle business this weekend. Because who are we playing this weekend, Jake?
y'all got the green ones.
The green ones, all right. And now Governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, has
Gretchen
already,
Wiener?
yeah, the real,
the girl-
real mean girl situation. Gretchen
that
Whitmer
isn't a thing, Dave.
has already come out yesterday and said that Michigan's undefeated streak is going to come to an end this weekend. # Go Green, all that kind of
Wow.
stuff. So hopefully that won't
See,
be
I
the
don't
only
think that's
L
a
she
smart
takes
play.
this fall. But
Yeah, I don't
Right?
think that's a smart.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, I hope everybody stays healthy and has a great time.
Both teams win.
Yeah, let's tie.
All right, let's go to Sean Pinnison, # Ask Crane Company. Who's more mid?
Ooh,
All right.
I like this game.
Please don't be an option. Please don't be an option.
Nebraska
Mm.
or Mama G's?
Oh,
Nebraska.
neither.
Nebraska. Nebraska's more mid. You know what?
Right
I
this
just every
second-
week.
right this
why,
second,
why do I
Nebraska,
have to
but-
defend Mama Goldberg's every week?
This is
on
tough.
Why do I have to defend Nebraska every week, man? Right this second, yeah, they're a mediocre football team, but as a program, top tier.
here? Yeah.
Top
I
tier
agree
as a
with Ken.
program.
I'd probably go Nebraska on that.
Stop hating on history, Blaine.
I'm not hating on history. Just quit shoving it in my face. That's all I'm asking.
It's the third time you said that today.
Like, I'm already getting a pie in the
Not
face.
even-
He's ready
Sorry,
for the
it's not even
pie.
seven.
I already getting the pie. I don't need Nebraska to be shoved in my face either. Let's go J-Mac volunteer.
Ooh,
He's volunteering this question right
I like that.
That should college football coaches receive a capped 3-year contract, then have it renewed once the 3 years are up? That way it prevents extremely large buyouts. like James Franklin and Jimbo Fisher. I heard A&M's falling apart.
No, I'm a free market guy.
I know,
Look,
it's tough.
I don't think you cap it. Look, people are going to pay what they're going to pay. How bad do you want to win? The thing is, it's the buyouts. There's other ways to get to to eliminate these buyouts without capping it. I like what, we're kind of seeing nowadays. You got some ADs going in there like, hey, I'm going to need some of that money back. Like, you remember Jim Harbaugh in Michigan?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a motivator. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need some of it back because you're not doing what you said. It's like you told me this boat was gonna go really fast and work good. It goes kind of fast and hardly works. You've seen that. We saw it at Nebraska with Scott Frost. They went in there, they're like, we're gonna need some of that back. So I think you're seeing a little bit of that. It's these crazy buyouts it's just guaranteed for these coaches. Like, it's absolutely guaranteed. Win, lose, draw. Oh, you showed up to work, you didn't show up to work, that's fine. You got the buyout. That's why there's a saying in coaching, just make it to your first buyout. You make it to your first buyout, you're rich. What did Edo tell LSU? They're like, yeah, we're going to give you $13 million to get out of here. He's like, listen, do y'all need help carrying anything? What time do you want me out? Is the plumbing good in here? Like, it's wild right now.
I tend to agree with you. Once you start implementing wage restrictions, I think you're going to create more problems than you solve. One of the issues is that these are private institutions, though. They're universities. That's where it gets a little bit tricky, whereas the NFL, of course, don't do that. It's a free market system, operate based off free market principles. Since these are universities and they're technically like employees of the school, it does get a little bit more dicey to me, but I think you're going to create more problems than you solve if you do.
Yeah, I think there's other avenues to go down before you have to just pull, hit the eject button and try and go save Tom Cruise in Croatia or wherever he landed.
Did he land?
The thing about it, you don't have to save Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is coming to save you.
Yeah, I never trust anybody with 3 middle teeth.
Look, he did the Mission Impossible like 7 times. Apparently, it's not.
It's the same movie over and over
Apparently,
again.
it's not that impossible.
Yeah.
7 times. All right, a couple of things here. We're going to go to Cole Kugler, 1128, and he says, Philly's going to storm Houston, Eagles Thursday night football, then Phillies game 6 and 7 Friday and Saturday. Says it's going to get violent.
Let's go.
God, I can't wait for that. Then Baby Sawyer's dad says, I hate Nebraska. He says they stole Michigan's 97 Thunder, bunch of sissies.
No, they really didn't, though. They really didn't. Michigan won the Rose Bowl and they claimed the national championship, but
Well, they claimed it.
Maybe he's saying they tried to.
I don't like the claiming the national championship from like. If your school claims a national championship during 1941, get out.
Why?
Get out. It's the middle of World War II. You should be over there fighting the Nazis.
Okay.
What? You're over here running the dive? They're dive bombing?
So are those the only years, like during war years? Well, what if somebody says that during like Desert Storm? Like, how dare you claim a 1992
no, Desert Storm
in the middle
World
of
War
Desert
II,
Storm?
totally different
and
things,
you could be over there serving the country.
Desert Storm and World War II, two totally different things. You have to be a history major to figure that one out. My thing is, I feel like you have these and I'm just using it as an example. Alabama went 6-4 in 1972 and claimed a national championship. Just because the Birmingham Gazette said you won it? I think we should wipe all national championships before we had computers.
Man, it sounds like Auburn didn't win any of that.
No. Auburn won in 1957.
So you're not counting that one?
No, wipe it. That's what I'm saying. Before we had computers, wipe them. Just wipe them. Because everybody was claiming everything.
In 20 years, somebody's going to come up here and be like, man, back in 2010, they didn't play good football. Cam Newton sucked, and we need to get rid of Auburn's
Nobody said anything about good football. I'm saying you have
That's what they're going to say in 20 years.
You have so many people that claim, we went 7
You're going to be the old guy telling people to get off your lawn.
We went 7-3. Well, you'll be the equivalent of 380 years old by then. The way you're going.
Yoda style.
You'll have pointy ears and hang out in the swamp waiting on a jet to crash.
I already do that.
All right, let's go to Emmanuel C. He says, if the Pac-12 wants to remain the Pac-12, then which 2 schools would they recruit to their conference?
This is the big question. Right now, they're trying to recruit schools to stay. I don't even think they're to that point yet. I don't think they're out there dating before their wives left them, maybe on the verge of it. You see UCLA and USC. It's the Pac-10 right now. Let's call it what it is. Pac-12, that thing doesn't exist right now in this world. In this alternate reality that I find myself in, that future Jake will be in, right now it's Pac-10. UCLA and USC's gone. All right, they're gonzo the clown. I know there's some stuff. Gavin Newsom's like, we're not going to let UCLA leave. He's not going to be there for that much longer anyway. He won't have any say. But if I'm the Pac-12, you got to recruit Oregon, you got to keep.
Can't lose them.
Can't lose. Washington, you got to keep.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Utah, you got to keep.
Stanford.
To me, if you're going to go recruit schools, I thought the AAC, what the Big 12 got from the AAC were great ads. They check every box. They could compete. they're in fertile recruiting grounds, and they're big markets. That's the biggest thing. So if you're the Pac-12, who do you go snag now in reality?
Maybe Fresno State?
I mean, look around. Take a Fresno State. You're going to try and replace what? That California market, right? That Southern California market. Do you go get San Diego State?
I feel like not getting BYU was a miss.
That's a miss because you got Utah.
Travis Elrod said
Utah.
Fresno State and Boise State.
Well, I would
Fresno
say
State?
Boise State and San Diego State. I would say Boise State and San Diego
How about
State.
this, boys? Maybe go get Gonzaga. Yeah, you
No,
punt
Cone.
on football to
Cone.
keep the analogy going.
Cone.
But in basketball, Jake, in college basketball.
I love it.
Okay, you keep it on the West Coast. You know, you'll always be preseason number 2 or
Look,
3.
I don't want to talk
no
about
matter what
Gonzaga.
you do in the tournament.
I don't want to talk about Gonzaga until we have to.
Dang, I thought he
You
could
know
have
that.
fired up, Blaine.
He knows that. They know that. I don't want to talk about. Can't wait. Oh, hey, Drew Timmy's back for what, his 37th year? Yeah. Good luck getting bounced in the Sweet 16 against, a team that Coach Carter's coaching.
They're going to win it this year.
They're pretty good. Let's go to Mississippi Mike. So he says, so major hypothetical here, boys.
Okay.
All right, but he says LSU drops Bama, wins out, and Ole Miss miraculously beats Bama and drops Mississippi State.
Oh.
That would leave 3 2-loss SEC West teams. Who gets in the SEC championship?
Well, you see, so you're saying LSU would lose to Bama?
Correct. Drops Bama.
Lose to Bama. Ole Miss beats Bama.
Loses a state.
So if you look at tiebreakers head to head, Ole Miss would have lost to LSU. Bama would have lost to LSU. LSU beat Ole Miss. It would go to a tiebreaker. Somehow Alabama would.
You talking about the LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama triangle in the West? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the tiebreaker rule?
We need to look up what that tiebreaker is. But if you think about it, Ole Miss loses to LSU but beats Bama. Bama beats LSU but loses to Ole Miss. Woo! You got yourself an old-fashioned Mexican standoff there.
Sunny.
fellas.
It's like that Sunny in Philadelphia, Jeff.
You got the strings going everywhere. What
going.
is? I know it's not. I don't think it's points scored. I don't think it's total points scored. I think we'll look up the tiebreaker and get back to that question.
All right, let's go to Michael Hatley. What's up, Mike? He says, as a lifelong Vols fan, should I expect a 98 type of ending for the season, or should I set my expectations for an SEC championship?
You know what? I like in these times to quote Vince Vaughn from Dodgeball or Peter LaFleur. I found that if I have no goals, I'm not disappointed when I don't reach them. That's one way to look at it here. But I think if you're a Tennessee fan, you have to understand 2 things. You can want to win a national championship, and you should. You have a team that can compete for one. Number 2, you should know at this point you're really playing with house money. And as crazy as that second one is to believe, that's how long it's been. And you know this, Tennessee fans, better than anybody, since Tennessee has actually had a legitimate shot. You are now part of the conversation at the top, all right? Now when I think of Tennessee with what Josh Heupel's done, you think about a totally different situation than the dumpster fire that was there with Jeremy Pruitt and Butch Jones and the leaving with Lane Kiffin. Your future looks bright. Look at recruiting right now. Look at that atmosphere that you just had. Tennessee is here to stay for a while. And Josh Heupel was the guy. Danny White was the guy that found the guy. Just happened, the guys knew each other. I think Tennessee is going to make the college football playoff. I think they are. Because in that scenario that was just laid out too, Alabama's out. Regardless if they make the SEC championship game and lose, they're out. That's 3 losses for that team that makes the SEC championship game. And you look right now out at the Pac-12. Talked about Oregon. Can they win out? Got some more tests. TCU, more tough tests in the Big 12, including going to Texas. Then you look at Clemson. You feel like they're going to win out, and you know you're at least going to get one Big 10 team. I feel like Tennessee and Georgia are going to make the playoff. And if you do, and you get in there, you got as good as a shot as anyone's had that's been there going up against a Georgia. I know Alabama's not there, and Ohio State. Look, Tennessee can win this thing, but don't get too far ahead of your skis. And if it does turn sour for a little bit, make sure you relish what has gone on and understand what that means for your future. Because future Tennessee is smiling just as big as current Tennessee.
So in that scenario, LSU's already beaten Ole Miss, right? So
Yes.
now the comment was
Bama beats
if Ole Miss beats Alabama and
Yes.
Alabama beats LSU,
Yes.
I think Alabama wins the West because then it becomes who has the most wins and losses in the division.
That's exactly
so see,
what it is.
Alabama's losses to Tennessee. And
That's exactly what.
right?
Of course, I told you Alabama found a way in there.
Yeah. So barring that, Ole Miss and LSU wouldn't lose any more West, SEC West games.
No,
but-
good. That's a good find there.
All right, let's go back to Cole Kugler. What's up, Kugs? He said, y'all see the stat line that every time Philly wins a World Series, we enter a recession? writing's on the wall, guys.
Oh, look, I can tell you one of those things is definitely going to happen.
I'm immediately
Not the
pulling for the
Phillies gonna win
Astros
World
now.
Series. Look, I think if the Astros wouldn't have lost it last year, and you got to think, again, we can go back to the banging on the trash cans and the computers and the cheating stuff. Obviously, they're good enough to be there without doing that. I think the Astros are pissed off. I think you're going to see a pissed off Houston team in general. Verlander's going out there game 1. I got the Astros in 5 in this one. I got the Astros in 5. Pena, what a great replacement for Correa. Look what he's doing in the playoffs. We know how talented that roster is. Alex Bregman, all he does is get up there and make great decisions at the plate and in the field. They just got a complete team to me with what they're able to bring out of the bullpen. Valdez is going to be huge in this series, him being able to come out and if he can pitch the way that he has, man, I just like the Astros. Bryce Harper's a great story for the Phillies. Love Aaron Nola. Love what these guys have been able to do, the way they've come together, but I just think Houston's going to take off in this one.
All right, love that. This is day 2 of asking Yankee Twitter to apologize. Grow up, cowards. Let's go to Joseph Lavelle. What's up, Joseph? Hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Do we think Penn State has a chance against the Buckeyes this weekend? I think Ohio State's going to kill Penn State.
I'm going to tell you what. I looked at this spread yesterday. Is it 16.5 the last time I saw it? You know, just the instant reaction person in me from watching the game says, Ohio State murders these cats. Ohio State murders them. They're just way better than they are. Look how Penn State played at Michigan. But I know Penn State has a ton of pride. And this is the only chance Penn State has to be able to have a championship season. This is it. It's this weekend. It's at your place. Sean Clifford's been there for 27 years. You do have weapons that can score against Ohio State. Did Ohio State come out and look great against Iowa early? No. You know, you realize how bad Petrus is. He threw it to him 3 times just about in the red zone. Part of me thinks he's on the take, but that's a story for another day.
I think Sean Clifford's going to start.
Is he that? Do you think Aller? I know they pulled him. I like Aller. We've talked about Drew Aller on this show. All right, but my biggest thing is I feel like this is one of those games where it's a little bit uglier than what people think, maybe a little bit more low scoring than what people think, and I think Penn State has a good chance to cover. I don't know if they'll win.
What is it, 16.5 right now?
16.5. Why not buy it up to 17.5? And before you say anything, Conan, I do want to make a correction yesterday. I said 2 things. One, I just switched. Steve Spurrier played at Florida, coached at Duke. I said it backwards yesterday.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah, I said it backwards yesterday. Second thing, Pacheco played at Rutgers, not Utah. I got those two mixed
the Chiefs running back.
The Chiefs running back. That's exactly right.
Wait, so
Natalie Barrett, Rutgers alumni. I misspoke on that, meant to say Rutgers.
Yeah, okay, that sounds right. Spurrier won the Heisman at Florida, but then he coached at Duke.
One of his best
South Carolina too.
Yes.
So in the commercial, is it just Florida and Duke?
It's like a Florida and Duke mix. Go back and look at it.
Okay.
It's like if you took Florida's colors and Duke's colors and blended them, that's exactly what colors he's wearing. Fluke.
Man, I think the Buckeyes make a statement.
Yeah,
The Happy Valley. I really think they
We'll
do.
see. Well, I bet I don't know. But speaking about making a statement, we got a guy who comes out here and makes statements every Tuesday. He also makes lists. Our guy, Big Game Boomer, BGB.
What's up,
my friend?
What's up, fellas? What's going on? Hey, y'all talking about that Penn State-Ohio State game? It is an absolute disservice to college football fans that is not a night game.
Yep.
I
It's at
cannot
11
believe
o'clock.
Yeah, that just seems like
you're in the morning.
Yeah, your whiteout special. There it is.
That was going to be my question for you, man. You already beat me to it. I mean, why is that? Why are they doing that?
Well, it's because the World Series, I guess, is that night. But I mean, come on. We're really helping Ohio State out here. The Big Ten I don't think it's that good enough this year. I mean, the Buckeyes, that game at night, that would definitely be a whiteout. It wouldn't have been a whiteout last week against Minnesota. I mean, it's just, I love Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt. I think they do a great job. But I've barely heard those guys call many games because they're just calling Michigan and Ohio State games.
Yeah, like
they're blowouts.
Yeah, at what point do they start getting per diem for being the announcers for Michigan? If I'm like the actual play-by-play guy for like Michigan or Ohio State, I'm like, guys, like, am I getting fired? Like, are y'all replacing me with Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt? Are y'all going to mold them together? Send these guys somewhere else.
Penn State, Ohio State's more important than the World Series. Let's be honest.
I agree.
Let's be honest here. I mean, let's be honest.
I don't agree with that.
It is.
I know which
cares
one I'll
more?
be watching.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if Penn State played that night in the World Series, more people would be watching Penn State versus
Hey,
Ohio
guess what,
State.
though, boys? They're not playing at the same time. You can watch both of them. Now, do I think the World Series should be played earlier in the day and that game should be played at night? Yes, but I don't think the World Series is less important than one college football game. But that's just me. I'm more of a baseball guy than you two. All right, our BGB, we did our most overrated 2022 teams. This isn't of all time, and you had go ahead and go through your list, BGB. I'll let you narrate your own story.
Okay, so I'll start at 5. I've got my Oklahoma Sooners. Obviously, I mean, they're overrated. They're preseason top 10, but I didn't have them as high as probably most people do because with Dylan Gabriel, I think they're still a decent team. Just without him, they're terrible. Number 4, I've got at Michigan State. This is probably some of my fault with kind of overhyping them over the offseason. But, man, their secondary is still as bad as it was last year. They can't run the football. They miss Kenneth Walker, so I've got him at 4. Miami at 3. They got just boat raced by Duke on Saturday with like 30 people in the stands and just – man, I mean, we heard all this from Canes fans all offseason. Tyler Van Dyke, Heisman, Tyler Van Dyke, and he misses Rhett Lashley for sure at SMU. Then I've got Notre Dame at 2. I mean, losing to Marshall, losing to Stanford, it's just typical offseason hype for them. And then number 1, I think, is the obvious Texas A&M. I mean, can we please stop putting them in the top 10 every offseason? Because it's going to happen. They're going to get 5-star recruits in their next recruiting class, and the 24/7 composite rankings are going to come out, and they'll be in the top 5, and then all the voters and writers are going to put them in the top 10. And as long as Jimbo Fisher is calling that offense, they're not a top 50 team. So
Big Game Boomer, do you think there should be an NCAA ordinance that Texas A&M is not allowed to be ranked in the top 10 preseason for at least 25 years?
Yes, please. Let's
you would be behind that?
They got to earn it. What have they done? I mean, the COVID year when they won 10 games and beat 8-4 Miami or UNC team in the Orange Bowl. I mean, that's the best they've done in 50 years or in the 90s. So I'm tired of the A&M hype. I didn't believe it in the offseason, and here we are.
Every year.
Yeah, no, and I do want to say this. You're right. That is the most successful year they've had in a while, but COVID did. I'm not one that espouses to it was a COVID year, so it doesn't count. COVID hit everybody, so I do give them credit for that. But BGB, you are right. No championships, really. I mean, what is there in the trophy case other than just a picture of some girl named Hope? I mean,
Johnny
that's all
Manziel
it is.
winning the Heisman, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about like team awards. Again, it's getting to the point now, and I do think Jimbo needs to bring in an OC. We've talked about that. But A&M, you get what, 4 players, Wayne, from that freshman class suspended indefinitely?
I heard 4 players are suspended indefinitely in that freshman class for A&M.
I mean, it's all encompassing right now. You know who you need? There's one guy that can fix this. We say this on the show all the time. John Taffer. Bar rescue.
Oh.
Bring him into A&M. Let him walk in the facility. Let him start screaming at people. Let him walk into the kitchen, talk about how greasy he is. Let's look at the locker room. Why is the socks not up? Why is there paper everywhere? We need John Taffer to go to College Station and just start screaming at everybody. He'd be great in the yell leader stuff, too. He'd fit right in.
Or either that or let's look at the science behind it.
All right,
let's bring John Brinkus in.
You want to bring
John Brinkus?
You love some John Brinkus.
Let's figure it out. If there's anybody go out there, look, I don't need Bob Lazar. All right, I don't need Thomas Edison. Let's just bring John Brinkus in here, really break down the science and stats behind it, and then let's go from there.
We could do that right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. We love Johnny B. All right, let's bring up ours. Number 1, Texas A&M. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Number 2, Notre Dame. Look, did we expect Notre Dame to go undefeated or Marcus Freeman to win double-digit games in his first year? We didn't. We looked at their schedule and said, I don't believe in it. I just don't believe in Notre Dame. We didn't expect them to lose to Marshall. We didn't expect them to look that bad. Marshall can barely win a game in the Sun Belt right now.
Yeah.
We didn't expect them to be that bad offensively challenged. I mean, now, Iowa makes them look like the Globetrotters, but, in retrospect of how good Notre Dame typically is, it's not even close. Number 3 is Oklahoma. Obviously Dylan Gabriel going out. Anytime you lose your starting quarterback, especially in your first year at a new place, it's going to be tough. But the defensive speed in the secondary and in the backfield has to pick up. I mean, they're getting outran by everybody. And we're used to seeing Oklahoma not really lack team speed, but tackling. Tackling has always been Oklahoma's problem. Then 4 is Baylor, Cone.
Yeah.
Baylor, Dave Aranda and them coming off a hell of a year. You get Blake Shapen coming back. You getting some of that defense back. But One Punch Man struggled out there. They've had a tough year this year, but they'll be fine.
Preseason 10.
Preseason, top 10. And then Miami, number 5. They just absolutely fallen off a cliff. But Mario's going to right that ship. You look at the offensive linemen they have committed. They got 2 of the top tackles in the country. Give him a little bit of time at Miami. He'll get the players in there. They've just got to be able to get over that Clemson Clemson hump eventually once they do get the guys.
Yeah. Boomer, we saw Clemson quarterback DJ Uiagalelei take some regression this past weekend. He was replaced by freshman Cade Klubnik. Look, Syracuse fell apart in the second half of that game. I think you were pretty vocal that the referees cost Syracuse that game in the second half. You know, my thing is they had 7 possessions, 6 punts, and an interception. Talk to me here on your thoughts on Clemson-Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the referees definitely had something to do with that game. I mean, that missed call, that late hit on Schrader going out of bounds was atrocious because they just called the same play for Clemson. They extended a drive on the previous drive for them. And, once that play happened and Syracuse had to punt the ball, I mean, you could just see the players. I mean, they were deflated on the sidelines. I mean, it's like they had given up. So that play was just huge. But, I mean, you got to give Syracuse some blame. I mean, I don't know why Sean Tucker didn't really touch the ball as much as he did in the second half. I mean, he's a playmaker. You got to give him the ball more. But, man, Clemson, I don't know. I mean, Cade Klubnik, he came in and he didn't really play that good. It was just more of Syracuse kind of being inefficient on offense. But, yeah, that missed call on that late hit was horrible, and it truly – just set the pace for the rest of the game.
Do you think Cade Klubnik will start a game for Clemson this season?
No, because I don't think. I mean, who's Clemson? Is Clemson? I think they're on a bye this week.
They're on a bye, and then they go to Notre Dame.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, Dabo after the after the game was saying that DJ is still our guy. I mean, Cade. I mean, it was kind of a perfect situation for Dabo where you bring in a backup, he comes in, kind of changes things up, but he didn't play great to where it's like, oh, well, he's got to be the starter now. So I think DJ's still the starter, and we'll see. I mean, Notre Dame, I mean, I don't really expect much from them going up there to South Bend.
We all know what's going to happen when it comes to this. Either going to be the ACC championship game or a playoff game where DJ's going to get pulled either in the second half or whatever it is, and then K's going to come in because that's when they're going to struggle again.
You think
There's
so?
No one else on this schedule realistically for the rest of the regular season I think Clemson's going to struggle with.
Well, I agree with Boomer that Cade didn't really come in and win that game as much as Syracuse.
Well, he didn't turn the ball over. They took DJU
that is true.
Turning the ball
That is true. He didn't turn the ball over. And the 2-point conversion, like I told you yesterday, that was a great football play. He was elusive in the pocket. He hit the dig on the back line. So, look, I mean, the kid can obviously play, and the move was made for a reason. Boomer, my last one is Michigan and Michigan State this weekend. I am not going to be the one who jinxes the Michigan Wolverines. I'm not even going to talk about this game until next week. So I'm going to let you talk about it. What's in store for us?
Well, I saw the governor of Michigan tweet out that she's pulling for Michigan State, that Tuck is coming. So
as if I needed any more reason to pull for the Wolverines.
I'm just glad she's letting people outside.
That was interesting. But man, I've said all offseason that Mel Tucker owns Jim Harbaugh. So I mean, I get that.
Stick with it.
I'm not giving up. Mel Tucker owns Jim Harbaugh. This is a perfect situation for Michigan State to sneak into Ann Arbor and shock the world like they've done so many times before. So, next week I can come on the show. You guys can, trash me for this pick, but I'm going.
We love you, Boomer.
No, there would be no trash. You're in the trust tree.
You're in the trust tree in here. Once you get in the trust, there's no
all
trash.
I'm saying is if Tuck's coming, bring Paul Bunyan with you and leave him in Ann Arbor when you leave.
Just Blaine, before you get there, 1 second. This game's in Ann Arbor, correct?
Yes.
Let me just tell you where my mind's at right now. I've watched Michigan, physical team, right? J.J. McCarthy figuring it out. Put liquid paper on a bee, it died, throw the post. Defensively, Mike Morris. They got monsters running around there. I know Dax Hill and those guys are gone, but they look physical again. The more I watch Kenneth Walker run the ball for the Seahawks, the better I feel about taking all the money I have and putting it on Michigan to go this weekend. Because if you really think about it,
that's the kind of stuff we don't need.
This is pretty much the same Michigan State team without Kenneth Walker, and they have no shot. No, I watched Minnesota pistol whip them like a blind.
You just jinxed it all.
We're done. When they played Western Michigan, I knew after 3 plays against Western Michigan, I'm going to tell you the spread for this game. All right, if you were to take Michigan State money line, it's plus 1150.
Woo! 1150.
This spread is plus 22.
It's at 22.
Plus,
I'll buy that thing down. I'll buy that thing down to 20.
That's a lot of points.
That's a
Rivalry
lot
game.
of points. Yeah. All right, I'm going to let's go to the Booster Club here. I'm going to Justin Decker, hashtag Ask Boomer. All right, let's go out to the Pac-12. Is Bo Nix actually good, or are the Pac-10 defenses bad, or a combination of a little bit of both?
I think it's a combination of a little bit of both. I mean, the first game, I don't think Oregon was ready for that. I mean, Dan Lanning's first game, that if you just forget about that game, Bo Nix is playing great, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit of both.
You sound like an Auburn fan right now. We've been saying that about Bo Nix for 3 years. Outside of Georgia, it looked great.
Yeah, but SEC defenses are a million times better than defenses in the Pac-12. So there's a little bit of that there. So I'd say a little bit of both.
Do you think this is like one of those situations with Bo Nix going from the SEC to Pac-12 to I had a buddy when he was 16, they moved overseas and he ended up going to college and majored in English in a non-English speaking country. Do you think that's like that for Bo Nix? It's like he just goes over there and it's like everything's slower and everybody's just more open. He's like, oh my, this is unbelievable. He's like the girl from Sound of Music, just running in like a mountain with flowers, just back there in the pocket.
He looked good, man. He looked
that situation. Good. But all right, Blaine.
All right, let's go to Travis Elrod, hashtag AskBGB. He says, why is it that when SEC teams beat each other, we hear the conference is just that good, but when other conferences beat each other, they get slammed?
That's a valid question.
Well, that you have to play each other. There's got to be an answer.
Excuse me.
How many teams are in the top 20?
BGB? Sorry. Go ahead, BGB.
How many teams are in the top 25 right now in the SEC?
7, I think.
7?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not an SEC homer by any means, but you can't tell me that the SEC West is on par with the Big Ten West. It's just.
Yeah, the Coastal versus the SEC East. Let's be honest.
The ACC Coastal Division is worse than some of the Group of 5 divisions. Let's be real here. The SEC it's the best conference in college football. And I'm not an SEC guy, so I'm an outsider.
Yeah, well, just look at the there's 2 metrics that you have to look at, in my opinion. When it comes down, when you're trying to make a decision like this, because teams do play each other and teams lose games. That's why when people are like, oh, they're, A&M went 8-4 and Arkansas went, 9-3 or whatever. Well, they all play each other. It's called conference play. Nobody can win every game.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. But when you look at the NFL draft, okay, the odds of all 32 scouting departments having SEC bias when they watch that amount of tape and go through that is impossible. Just doesn't happen. Second metric, national championships. You can't fake those. You can't fake them. You really can't, outside of what we talked about earlier when, in 1951 when the, Lexington Post said that you won it when you went 6-4, but that's different. You have 13 out of the last 19. 13 out of the last 19, and guess what? 2 of those 19, those teams are coming to the SEC. So it's getting even stronger. So again, it's 5 different teams that have won it. If it was just Bama, if Bama had won 17 national championships last 19 years, or Georgia had won 10 out of the last 19, or it was just Georgia and Bama, that's 2 totally different things. No, it's LSU, Florida, it's Auburn, it's Georgia.
But Travis Elrod's comment isn't that the SEC is not the best conference. He's saying, as far as the perception goes, when Georgia goes on the road and barely beats Missouri, why do we then say, well, this is just a really tough conference and it's hard to win football games, which is what Kirby Smart said, which is what I agree with. Okay, but then let's say if Michigan beats Maryland by 7, we say, well, Michigan's not any good because Maryland.
Well, we never said that.
I didn't. I know, but that's his point, right?
Like somebody. Well, again, if we're going to say that the SEC is the best conference compared to everybody else, when they play each other and somebody wins, you have to give that a little bit more merit than you'd give the other conferences. I just think that's the natural order of things. Does that make it correct in every case? No. That's why it's a lot easier to take this on a case-by-case circumstantial basis. We have a very bad problem in this country of generalizing everything. If it's one way in one instance, it's like that in everything. If one person does one thing, they're like that in everything. To me, I look at Michigan playing Maryland totally different than the way I look at Georgia playing at Missouri. All right, Maryland to me is a good football team. Little Tua, I know he's beat up right now. With Mike Locksley, I have watched Maryland's growth a little bit. I respect that win. Did Michigan play great? No. Did they play well enough to beat a team that's quality? Yes. Missouri, all right, when you've watched Missouri play, they've been in some tight games. I think they've shown improvement from last year with Drinkowitz. Georgia went and played one of their worst games and was still able to win. I don't think Michigan played their worst game. So I think when you look at it on a case-by-case basis, you come out with a better answer than just saying, you know what? If it's like this in one game, it's like this in all games. I wish we would stop generalizing so much and broad brush painting so much. Now, you can take a 30,000-foot view and say the SEC overall is the best conference in college football. I'm not saying you can't say that, but teams are so different when they play each other, and matchups are so different. I wish we would kind of not generalize it as much. I guess that's my argument. Because I think
I think isn't that what we're all saying, or?
No, but I think you can say both at the same time.
You can look at the Big 12, especially right now. When Texas loses to Texas Tech, you can't just say, well, Texas is trash. I mean, look, it's hard to go win college football games.
Yeah, but again, I don't think anybody's saying anybody is trash. I think what we're saying is every win is not created equal. And in aggregate, if you look at the SEC in general, people say this win is better than a win in this Pac-12 team versus that team or a Big Ten team versus that team. I think in most cases that's true, because the SEC is the best conference. But when you just say it all the time, regardless of what the game is or what the matchup is, to me, that's not the best way to go about it. I feel like it's lazy to go about it, not looking at it team by team. But overall, if you had to pick the best conference, it would be the Southeastern Conference, in my opinion. And since that is the case, if you were going to make judgment on that, that'd be the way to go. But I don't like doing that. That's why we don't do that. We didn't slam Michigan for barely beating Maryland. And we talked about Georgia played bad against Missouri. But I think it's just different, man. There's more NFL players in the SEC. It's the truth. Like, it's the truth. Women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie.
It's not really close.
And it's not even close. It's not close. So, all right, BGB, appreciate you, my friend. As usual, tell everybody where they can find your content. We're going to have a collab post on Instagram later with our list, his list. Tell us, did we miss one? I'm sure we did. Probably the team you hate. So make sure you check BGB out. Where can they find you, my friend?
All right, I'm on Twitter, Big Game Boomer, Instagram, Big Game Boomer, and YouTube, Big Game Boomer Show. And I am headed to Raleigh on Thursday for the Virginia Tech NC State game.
All
Checking
right.
out the Wolfpack in person. So
Leary's out for the rest of the year, right? Leary's out for the rest of the year. Man, smells like the under.
Yeah, but that defense, they've got a great defense, and man, Virginia Tech is just bad. So we'll see. Should be fun.
Yeah, it should be very fun. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.
All right. Coney, you want to get into a little punt?
Punt or go, boys. Bailey Zappe replaced Mac Jones at quarterback last night for the Patriots. Mac Jones will not start another game for the Patriots. Punt or go?
I'm going to punt that. If Zappe would have finished out the game the way he started when he came in, I think this conversation would have a lot more weight than what it does right now. To me, Mac Jones and Bailey Zappe are Spider-Man GIF pointing at each other. They're really the same player when you look at skill set and things like that. Mac Jones came out hot, too, in his rookie year. Here's the thing that's the hardest part to me. We talk about this in Major League Baseball. Yeah, they watch film on you in college. Yeah, they have a scouting report. But until they actually see you and then they adjust, and then you have to adjust and see how you grow, we really don't know. I like Zappe. I think it was a cool story. Like I said, if he'd have came in and they'd ended up coming back and winning the game and the offense stayed as explosive as it was when he came in there and he hit Devontae Parker on the play action. We got to understand, too, the first drive he was in there, I want to give him credit. The Bears busted 2 coverages. You had 2 guys running wide open, which you rarely see 2 busted coverages in the same NFL drive. And like I said, I don't want to take anything away from Bailey, but I feel like Mac is going to be the guy. But if you're the Patriots, you got some great trade bait with Bailey Zappe now. It's a great trade bait.
Punt or go?
I'm going.
You're going?
I think Bailey's the starter for the Patriots. I mean, that offense looks better with him in there. I really think they do. I know he had a couple of picks, and some of those picks weren't his fault. Let's look at the numbers here. I mean, he's 65 for 92, has a 71% completion percentage, averaging 8.5 yards per pass. I mean, coming in 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a couple of those interceptions was not his fault. Max started with 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions to kind of start this year. But I do think you have the trade bait now. You could go get some pieces. Mac Jones could start at quarterback for a lot of NFL teams. I think that he'd be a great fit for the Saints. In my opinion, if I'm the Saints, I'm looking into it. There's teams out there Mac Jones could start for, but Bailey Zappe looks a lot better in that offense than Mac Jones, in my opinion.
Well, let's go look at the Patriots' young quarterback. A lot of people said the same thing about Jarrett Stidham when he came in for the Patriots and was balling. Go look at the track record of rookies coming in for the Patriots and balling, or young guys coming in their first couple starts and balling for the Patriots. We've seen this before. My thing is, we got a good idea who Mac Jones is. You got a pretty good idea. You feel like he has no pieces. They've got no pieces around him, including with Bailey Zappe. Parker's a nice player, but they don't have a game breaker. Go-to guy. Ramondre Stevenson, nice player, a guy you can use at running back, good zone runner, catches the ball out of the backfield. I like that piece. But outside of that, guys, really, who do they have when you look at the Patriots and say, man, that guy really scares the hell out of me? And Mac Jones isn't Lamar Jackson. He's not going to go out there and run around. Neither is Bailey Zappe. When I look at it, Mac Jones has been beat up all year. He's been beat up all year. They don't have a ton of weapons. Everybody was saying the same thing about Mac Jones that they're saying right now about Bailey Zappe. They're saying the exact same thing. This guy's young. He's the next Tom Brady. He's the young guy that's going to come out, 4th-round pick. Everybody was downplaying him. Now, Mac Jones, I know, was a higher pick, and they took a flyer on him to be the guy, but he is more proven. I think this Bailey Zappe thing, the backup quarterback's always the most popular guy, and when they come in and have a good game or string a couple good games together, then they become uber stars. The Jeremy Lin stuff starts to happen. I'm telling you right now, don't put the cart before the horse with this Bailey Zappe and Mac Jones thing, because you may not like what happens when somebody adjusts, and you got to really find out through a stretch who Bailey Zappe is. Now, do they say, Mac, that ankle's still beat up? Let's take 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, see how it works, and give Bailey Zappe a legitimate tryout to be the Patriots quarterback? That remains to be seen. But I don't think you jump off the Mac Jones bandwagon because of 2 games while he's out there with a bum ankle.
Well, Jarrett Stidham did nothing in the regular season. Nothing. I mean,
when did he come into play?
Preseason. He played preseason game. That was it. And did nothing in the regular.
Yeah. And what did he do in that preseason game? And everybody started freaking out.
It's the preseason.
It's still
your starters aren't playing. People are making rosters.
Jimmy G when he was at the Patriots. Do that one.
Behind Tom Brady?
No, when he came in and played well, what did people start to say? Jimmy G is the next Tom Brady. When Tom Brady retires, he's going to take
Who's
them out.
saying Bailey Zappe is the next Tom Brady?
What I'm saying, this is the third quarter. Where have you been? Have you looked outside the past 5-7 years?
Bailey Zappe's doing this during the regular season, during the meat of this season. He's played enough games right now. You see that offense looks better.
He's played enough games for you to know Bailey Zappe's better than Mac Jones?
The run the offense better. Yes, I've seen enough already. I've seen enough already.
That's incredible.
Okay, that's
incredible.
Seen enough.
How many games Bailey Zappe played in the NFL?
I guarantee you Bailey Zappe is going to start.
How many games has Bailey Zappe played in the NFL?
5, 6.
He hasn't played 6 games.
When did Matt get hurt?
Matt got hurt, 2 weeks ago? You're going to take a flyer on a guy that's coming that nobody knows about, that's played 2 or 3 games?
He has 95 passes this game.
Wow, that's
Matt has 100. I mean, what's their record right now?
Blaine,
they played 7 games.
Look at the amount.
Matt's been out for like 4 weeks.
Look at the amount of passes and games that Mac Jones has played compared to Bailey Zappe. What I'm saying is, Zappe may get his shot to win the job. He may get it. But it's not like he came in last night and lit the world on fire.
Why did they pull Mac?
Mac's been hurt, and then he turned the ball over and made a stupid decision late over the field. But you can watch him. You could literally watch Mac Jones run around and realize he was not 100%. They were talking about it all during the game. They said there was a good chance Bailey Zappe was going to play him. Because he's your starting quarterback.
Well, you've been winning games with Bailey Zappe. Why play him? Why risk? Why risk hurting your number 10 pick when you have a backup who can come in and do a great job?
Well, who cares? According to you, Bailey Zappe's the new quarterback for the Patriots.
Well, no, if he's this good and he's this important, why risk putting him in there?
Because he's that good. Because you got to win.
He's that good. You've been winning with your backup.
You got to win.
Your backup's been doing everything better.
Okay, let's do another bet. I bet you by the end of the year, Mac Jones is starter for the Patriots.
Okay, guaranteed. Yeah, I'll bet that for sure.
And you get that Bailey Zappe's a starter.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll figure out 100%. To bet on.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. There we go. Let's do another one, boys. That's fun. Geno Smith will start for the Seahawks longer than Daniel Jones will start for the Giants. Punter go.
You're dirty for this.
This is a fun one. Yeah.
Go.
You're going?
Geno's the guy in Seattle, man. Look, I mean, again, you've been in the league. If this was year 1 or something like that, or it was kind of in that situation, I wouldn't feel as good. But Geno's got experience in the league. And if you look at the Seahawks right now, if you say, all right, we got Geno Smith, who's happy to be here. Let's put that number 1. He's happy to be a starting quarterback in the league. You ain't got to pay Geno $200 million. You can go put pieces all around him and DK. Look at Kenneth Walker. Look at the future there. You go get some more pieces on that offensive line. Tyler Lockett's not going anywhere anytime soon. You add a couple dogs there on the offense, you're set. And then you know what you do? You go get dogs on defense, which is what Pete Carroll really wants to do. I think Geno Smith is going to be the long-term answer for the Seahawks. And I believe that Daniel Jones will eventually remember. Who was going to remember first? Daniel Jones or DJU? Turns out DJU remembered first.
You mean he's going to remember how to not to
do it. That's what I'm saying.
So he's going to forget.
He's going to regress. He's going to forget. That's exactly right. The Giants are a cool story. I love what they're doing over there with Saquon. I don't think deep down still Brian Daboll believes that Daniel Jones is the guy that's going to not get them a winning season or bring some happiness back to the Meadowlands, but that can he be a guy that actually wins the Super Bowl? I mean, there's the craziest thing. Daniel Jones rushed for 100 yards last week. I want everybody to just think about that for a second. I think this is sometimes in the Matrix. Duke goes and slaps Miami on the road, and Daniel Jones rushes for 100 yards. Do you think just the stars were aligned? Like there's like a Gemini and a Scorpio came together? I don't know how that astrological stuff works, but
Blaine?
I mean,
stand up for Daniel Jones. They're 6-1.
I stood up for Daniel Jones. I stood up for Daniel Jones before the season started. I'm going to go. Ask me the question.
Geno Smith will start for the Seahawks longer than Daniel Jones will start for the Giants.
I'm punting. I think right now, I mean, just the way the Giants are playing is a little bit different. I think that the Seahawks are relying more on Geno Smith than the Giants are relying on Daniel Jones. And I know that Daniel Jones took a flyer on his contract, but I think I would stick with Daniel Jones because one, he's younger. This Geno's best year maybe in the NFL he's had.
Maybe crack the code. Maybe
Ever. I don't know if this is an outlier or maybe he's just closing his eyes and throwing it down the field and it's working. But I'm putting my money on Daniel Jones to start long.
Here's the thing: if you're a Giants fan, you cannot fall into what I call the happiness trap. This happens all the time in college football. I'm going to give you an example. Last year, we were just talking about this team, Michigan State. Kenneth Walker's there, Mel Tucker, new coach. Y'all coming in beating Michigan. Crazy plays. It looks like Michigan State is here to stay. Everybody gets happy. How much do we have to pay Mel Tucker? Give him $800 million in a buyout. Gus Malzahn, kick 6 versus Bama. Get him whatever. Get him whatever. Hail Mary versus Georgia. Kick 6. Everybody's so happy. It's all going good. We're relevant. So you want to keep that happiness. You're so excited about that happiness. It's like, what does he say on Tommy Boy? He's like, he gets that role. He's like, I pat it. And I touch it, I massage it. And then you give him that $20 million, you're a naughty pet. And you give him that $20 million buyout, and he's like, oh my God, I've ruined that. Hey, will the Giants be so excited about Daniel Jones being good that they decide Daniel Jones is the guy for the next 5 years and lock him up? And then this is the anomaly. All right, out of the 5 years, this is the anomaly. All right, so you can't fall into the happiness trap. We see it. It happens all the time in all realms. Oh, hey, sweetie, we met 2 weeks ago. We're so in love. Let's get married. Divorce 6 months later. Like it happens in life all the time. You get super happy about one situation. You want to keep that happiness in that situation for long, so you throw the bank at it, or you throw a ring at it, or you do something to try and keep it as long as humanly possible. And it doesn't typically work out. So if I'm the Giants, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Daniel, come in here. Sit down. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Keep playing good. How about that? How about we tell you to keep playing good for 3 years? How about you give him an option every year? Apparently that works for Daniel Jones. Like, hey, 6-year option. Ain't it? That's just, I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
All right. The Packers will make the playoffs. Punt or go?
Can we go over it?
You want their schedule?
No, the division right now, the NFC North. I know you got the Vikings.
All right.
Lions,
so Vikings are 5-1.
Bears, big win.
Vikings are 5-1.
Yep.
Packers are 3-4. Bears are 3-4. Lions are 1-5.
Yes. I'm going to go. Packers will make the playoff.
Blaine?
Because they get Odell Beckham.
Ooh.
I'm punting. They're not a good football team. The Packers are not a good football team. Their defense isn't that good. Can't run the ball with Aaron Jones, although somehow he scores 30 points in fantasy. Aaron's trying to do everything, but it looks like Aaron's trying to do too much. So, no, I don't think this team makes the playoffs.
All right. The Phillies will win Game 1 of the World Series. Punt or go? Or swing or take?
Yeah. I love how you
There you go, Dave. Quick on your feet.
Hey, I'm gonna take. Ball's out, 1/4 inch, 1-0. Like the Astros here. Again, I think the Astros are pissed off. You got Jose Altuve. He's just popping out of people's pockets, making plays in the infield. Again, like I said, Pena replacing Correa. And Correa knew that Pena was an absolute beast coming up as well. That was a great move. But it's the pitching staff. It's the depth. I like the Astros. The Phillies, they're a great story. So is Hansel and Gretel. So is Little Red Riding Hood. And we know what happened to both of them.
All right, last three, unless you want to jump in on that.
Yeah, it's real quick. I hate the Astros.
Why? Why do you hate so much?
I hate them. I don't hate them.
You hate Nebraska?
I do not hate Nebraska.
You hate the Astros?
I do not hate Nebraska. Nebraska just
You
somehow
hate Mac Jones?
they're always crying and they throw it in my face. They started that yesterday.
Okay.
I didn't say
They did.
They started that today.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Well, it seems
That's
like you
hashtag not my fault.
Seems like maybe you should hate the Yankees after they've CNN you.
No,
All right.
you can.
They're going to apologize.
That's the
I
Twitter.
feel it.
I'm not some dude hiding behind a computer screen doing that stuff. That can't hurt me. Please, I want you to come out and show me your face. Show me who you really are.
Show us your
Yeah,
face.
who you really are. So I don't want to hear about that.
Blaine's like, I bet you wouldn't say that to my face. And like, no, exactly. That's why we said it on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was right. Like, you were wrong.
All right.
It'd be great if we could go to New York, but you'd probably get robbed on the subway.
I have three more here for you. Zion Williamson hurt again yesterday. We have a clip here, actually.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play this clip because I keep wiping my eyes with Zion and I'm seeing Anthony Davis more and more every day. Let's play the clip.
The excitement on defense isn't quite there.
Get him the ball. He's going to go up here. Oh, gets swatted and lands hard on the hip. Hard on the hip.
Boys, you know he's had injury issues. Zion Williamson will not stay healthy through the entire year. Dunk or miss.
Dunk it like John Morant. Blaine, you've got a good theory on this, even though it's, you're pulling a John Brinkus out on the whole jumping situation. No way Zion stays healthy. He gets hurt every single season. It's hurt every single season. Not saying that people are always healthy throughout the season. Nobody's going to be healthy throughout the year. 100. You stop being 100% the minute you're born. All right, you stop being 100%. I've been 100% since November 2nd, 1989, like 3:30 in the morning, I think, right during the eclipse.
That's when you were at your best.
It was a blood moon.
Yeah.
My thing with Zion is he struggles to stay healthy. The question is, will he? I think the Pels are going to make the playoffs. Will Zion be healthy enough and be able to get in rhythm enough during the season to be effective in the playoffs? That's the big question.
What do you think, Blaine?
I think Zion will be fine. I don't think he'll miss that much time at all, to be honest. I think Zion wants to be out there this year. I've always said the same thing with John Morant. You kind of go back to the Derrick Rose type of stuff. The higher you jump and the faster you go, the harder you're going to fall. So it's like the same thing when you go to the NFL. Some guys are really fast, like Lamar Jackson, but you have to learn how to get tackled. In the NBA, you have to learn how to fall correctly, especially if you weigh that much and you can jump that high. I do think Zion hit contusion correct. I don't think he'll be out a long time. I think Zion will probably try to get back quicker than the Pelicans will try to get him out there. If anything, the Pelicans, you're an extremely good basketball team, so if you need to take this somewhat slow, you can. But I do think Zion wants to be out there and playing. Like, you go back, you look at him last year, the way he looked physically, not as cut up and everything, but when he got back from that foot and you looked at him, the dude was absolutely shredded. So the work ethic seemed like it's there. I think Zion wants to be out there playing basketball. And I think Anthony Davis is a little bit different because I remember looking at Anthony Davis on a TikTok, him looking super excited, saying he hasn't dribbled a basketball in months. I don't think Zion's in that boat.
Yeah, and I don't know if people think I'm saying I don't think Zion wants to play or that I think this injury is devastating. What I'm saying is I don't think he can go a month without having some sort of injury like this. And again, when you fly that high and you're that big, John Morant can jump and touch the ceiling. But he's also, 80 pounds?
Soaking wet, yeah.
Soaking wet. I mean, not saying it's not easy to fall or it doesn't hurt, but it's a lot different. I have to be Isaac Newton to know that when Zion falls, it's a lot more going on than when John Morant falls. So those are two different.
With Zion, I'm not really worried about hips. I'm worried about feet and knees.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about because last year was a foot. Right, it was a foot
They say
complications.
head, shoulders, knees, and
feet
toes.
and knees. Just that pressure and that weight coming down is what worries me.
Yep. All right, last two here. Sam Ehlinger will start for the Colts over Matt Ryan. This will not make the Colts any better, though. Punt or go?
I am going to go on that. I think the Colts are who the Colts are. Your offensive line's been underperforming. Jonathan Taylor's been beat up. Yeah, Michael Pittman is a nice weapon, and Paris Campbell went off last week. But again, the Colts aren't good at what the Colts. You think about the Colts. Well, what do? They run the ball, play action. Run the ball, play action, suffocate you on defense. They are not being able to do really any of those things right now. And I don't care if it's Sam Ehlinger, just like, Sam Ehlinger's a good player. All right, is Sam Ehlinger the guy that's going to somehow elevate everybody else on the Colts to be this team that everybody thought they were going to be when Matt Ryan was over there? No, I think the Colts are who the Colts are, whether that's Matt Ryan at quarterback, whether that's Sam Ehlinger at quarterback. I think it could actually get worse.
I think Sam Ehlinger's to come in. They're going to be better. I really do. I mean, new phone, who this? A little frustrating for Breeze Brothers. I mean, what helps the struggling offensive line? a mobile quarterback.
Mobility.
And Sam's mobile. Sam can get outside the pocket.
Sam's mobile, but he's not.
Sam can make things happen. A lot better than Matt Ryan.
Well, yeah, Matt Ryan's a washing machine back there.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, you traded Monix for him. I mean, Monix is a little bit better than a washing machine. I think Sam will come in and do a good job. I don't think it'll just light the world on fire. But they really need to start looking at Michael Pittman Jr. in the red zone. It's getting ridiculous. I wonder who has who on their fantasy team.
Ridiculous. Did Darius Leonard change his name to Shaquille Leonard? Is that what's happening here?
I thought his name was always Shaquille.
I
thought it was always Shaquille. Yeah.
I just call him the Maniac.
Yeah. Losing him hurt.
So when's he coming back?
I don't know. You want to talk about guys staying hurt.
Okay, so he's just going by that. It's Darius Shaquille Leonard.
Yeah.
But now he's just going by Shaquille Leonard.
I got you.
So we're both right.
Do what?
We're both right.
I like it when we can all just be right.
I hate it.
Be right. Except you're wrong.
Yeah.
Last one.
You're wrong about liking people being right.
Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson's Danger Witch has been pulled from the Subway menu. He was just getting a lot of hate. People making fun of him on social media. The sandwich has been pulled, but Subway is still sub-mid, punt or go.
Oh, yeah, Subway. I am absolutely going on that. Subway is absolute mid.
All right, let's see what the sub-connoisseur
It's right in the middle.
I mean,
you know who else is really mid right now? Russell Wilson and the Broncos offense. Look, there's nothing dangerous or danger witch about a sandwich or Russell Wilson right now. I mean, look, you know it's bad. You know it's bad when they pull.
Why now, though?
When they pull your sandwich from the menu,
Why
you
now?
Can't score points.
Russ, you are always getting made fun of.
But like my thing is,
why now?
Part of me, I feel like Russell Wilson is a good person, but I also feel like I don't know who Russell Wilson is. I feel like Russell Wilson isn't truly. I forgot the guy's name. I think it was Kyle that was talking about this. He made a good point about Russell Wilson's the fakest person in the NFL. Like Russell Wilson is who everybody else, it seems like, wants Russell Wilson to be. Just be yourself, man. Like, just be yourself. Like he's a politician playing sports.
Sergio was saying that.
Yeah, like he's like a politician. Yeah. It's like watching a politician. He's just, whoever in the room wants him to be, it's Russell Wilson. It's like, hey, I'm hanging out with Sierra. I'm rapper Russell Wilson. Oh, hey, I'm outside. I'm outside being Russell Wilson. Be yourself. I don't feel like it's really him.
I disagree with that. I think Russell is himself all the time.
He's just awkward?
He's just lame.
No, it's not
He's
even
just lame.
It's not awkward.
He's just lame.
So you don't think Russell Wilson gets done with stuff and he's like, man.
No.
Like, what if he talked totally different? What if Russell Wilson talked totally different off camera than he does?
I genuinely
feel like
believe Russell Wilson is who Russell Wilson is all the time, and that's why he gets made fun of all the time. You know, he's out there on the field, before the game with his arms. He's making
Let's ride.
Is he doing the things he thinks that a star quarterback should be doing?
I think he's just a lame duck. I just think he's a good football player. He's just the kid who reminds the teacher we had homework the night before.
Oh, it's the
and
worst.
No one likes that kid.
Yeah.
But you know what? Well, if no one's going to like you, but at least be a good NFL quarterback, then some people will like you.
Yeah, then maybe you get a Subway sandwich.
Subway's mid. Mama G's is better.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And
We're
on
making
that note,
progress.
Yes, and on that note, quick, get out of the segment. On that note, if you want to watch the rest of this, remember you can listen to it if you want to stay here. Head over to the Daily Wire Plus, become a member, listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with your friends. And not Russell Wilson. We'll be right back. All right, it's the second half. Well, really more like the second half of the fourth quarter. We'll see if you made better adjustments than Syracuse did in the second half. Blaine.
All right, Booster Club, let's ride.
Let's ride.
Jacob Lovelace with a $49.99
What?
donation.
Wait, Loveless?
Mr. West.
West.
He says
I haven't seen you in a coon.
He says, morning, y'all. He says, usually I'm on the Superior Daily Wire Plus. I wanted to give some money to hashtag Hot Take Tuesday.
Love it.
All right, it says, Nick Chubb is a top 10 back and great, but overrated a bit. Run first offense and best O-line in the league. Any top 10 running back could do that with their O-line and run first.
I don't know, man.
Here's the thing with me about Nick Chubb. I think everybody thinks that Nick Chubb is just a pure power back. And when you look at what he squats and how strong he is in his lower body and how he's able to drag tacklers, I'm not talking about just corners or safeties. I'm talking about linebackers. D linemen, the way he's able to run through tackles, but he can leave people.
Yes,
Like Nick
that's the
Chubb
thing.
can actually really run. Is it more straight line speed? Yes, once he gets going. He's not bad laterally. I think Nick is a great back. I think Nick would be a great back wherever he goes. Are there backs that I think are better than Nick Chubb? Yes, behind that offensive line with what the Browns have been able to do. And now that you have Njoku, who's more of a willing blocker when he gets in line because he's getting I'm talking about throughout the season. But and now you saw how many passes that he got. That was helping out a lot. Amari Cooper for the Browns being able to extend you deep. And I think Jacoby Brissett has been good. I think he has been good. I don't think he's been great. I don't know what everybody was expecting from Jacoby Brissett.
What backs you put in front of Nick Chubb?
I would put Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I would
Saquon
put
Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. I would put a healthy Jonathan Taylor.
I think Najee Harris would feast. on that
Najee Harris,
team.
I'm telling
He
you
would
guys,
feast
the
on that
more I
team.
watch Najee Harris, the more he just continues to impress me
And he's in a
as
tough
an all-around
situation.
back. As an all-around back. But him and Kenny Pickett and George Pickens, that three-headed monster for Pittsburgh to build, I like what the Steelers are doing. I like what they're doing. They're competing and they're fighting. I know the question was about Nick Chubb. I'd put Chubb ahead of McCaffrey right now.
Austin Eckler would do well.
Austin Eckler's
you
right
put
there.
him
I
on
mean,
any
they
team.
had a hell of a battle a couple weeks ago. You had them both on your fantasy
Look,
team.
a lot of running backs would do well on Cleveland right now with that pin and pull game they have on the offensive line. But a few things here. One, that good offensive line helps you in the first 5 yards, right? Like you're talking about, Nick Chubb is having a lot of his success after that first 5
His yards after
right?
contact.
And yards after contact, and he's leaving people. Plus, Kareem Hunt's a really good back.
No, he is.
Really good back. And you can tell the difference when those two guys run behind that offensive line. Now, Kareem Hunt adds value in other ways in the passing game for sure. But I think Nick Chubb's a great back.
He is, and having Kareem Hunt gives you a blow and keeps you fresh.
All right, let's go to Max Johnson with a $9.99
Ooh, Max.
donation.
Hope
Thanks,
your hands
Max.
okay.
This is for you, Jake.
Oh, no.
Said, Jake, I did the one chip challenge.
Oh, here we go.
Says the heat is not the worst part.
Oh, no, don't do this.
Said the cramping and the complete rejection your body goes through is the worst.
What do you mean rejection?
Said buy yourself some milk, bud. # solidarity.
Oh, no. Jay.
What does he mean by rejection of the body? What am I like? Am I like rejecting insulin now, or like what's going on?
Are you going to be singing that, Blaine?
Dude, we just got a French bulldog puppy. If I die now, I'm be so pissed.
The night I don't remember.
Because you just got Millie?
Yes.
Colleen Houston has been choosing violence today.
What's she saying
look,
in there?
After the Notre Dame hate,
Colleen.
yes.
Show me the lie, Colleen.
So for some reason, she attacks me. I don't know.
Good. Actually, you're right,
Because I'm in
Colleen.
the chat. She says, first time young head coach and starting QB got injured. Hold
Yeah,
on. No,
yeah, we know that.
Starting
Yeah.
QB get injured. I don't know why it always comes to this. It's called growing pains. And guess what, Blaine? We have a better record than Auburn. What did I say? I said nothing. I didn't say a thing about Notre Dame. This is how it starts.
Don't go
I don't know why.
Don't go scorched earth
I don't know
today
why. I'm
on
not.
another fan base.
We
I
all
just
know.
this is what I deal with.
We all know what you said about Notre Dame, and
This is what I deal with.
We can't
I,
make
for one-
Notre Dame and Nebraska fans mad back to back.
Colleen, I will say this. While there has been some fun poked at Notre Dame, and well-deserved, it's Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame. Well, there has been fun poked. We have been very big on Marcus Freeman in the future. We love the way that he's recruiting. We even had Drake Bowen, a Notre Dame commitment, on
do that.
the show. So
What a
the future at Notre Dame, we think looks good, but we feel like you guys need to join a conference, okay? And also, you lost to Marshall. You've struggled a little bit this year. You lose to Stanford, who hasn't won anything but really a debate in the math competition so far this year. So you can poke fun and all that stuff. And Notre Dame's schedule, guys. I mean,
It's tough.
It's tough. I mean, we talk about joining the conference, and yeah, we want them to join a conference, but that schedule this year is hell, man.
All right, couple things here, Daily Wire chat. Return of the Mac. All
Return of the Mac.
Two things here. He says, Sam Ellinger has been training with Patrick Mahomes' personal trainer, so watch out.
Jackson Mahomes?
God, I'm so glad I'm not watching Jackson Mahomes on the sidelines. Thank God. Return of the Mac also says, Russell Wilson's so focused on being a good guy, he doesn't have time to be a good quarterback.
That's true. He's like, guys, why was I late to the game? You see those tomatoes I'm growing in the backyard? You know where that's going? Homeless shelter.
All right,
And his
Freddie.
family's better off for that. You know?
It is. Sierra's like, hey, Russell, welcome home.
Have y'all heard the conspiracy that Sierra was born a guy? Have y'all heard that
not heard
conspiracy?
that.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's out there.
Stop that.
Well, look, it's not me. I mean, you know
did
Victoria's
that.
Secret.
You know what Russell said when they told him that? He said, Let's ride.
Blaine's like, hey, have you guys heard that famous conspiracy that I just made up?
No, that's a real thing. I didn't make that up. I didn't make that up.
Y'all remember the time Bobby Boucher came back at halftime and the Bud Dogs won the Super Bowl?
Oh, hold on, I have one for that.
Remember when Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime?
Let's go. We need to start using the soundboard more.
Do ya?
We need to start using. Let's go to Fraley Ginger Gang. Who's going to win the Packers at Bears on December 4th?
God, not the fans.
Well, whoever you think, it's going to be the opposite.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Right now at the Bears, I mean, you got to feel good about Chicago right now,
Look
at least
at
a
the
little
Bears
bit.
last night.
You
man.
got Herbert. You got David Montgomery kind of put it together a little bit, especially in the second half. But that defense, opportunistic in turnovers. You shut down Aaron Jones, you shut down the Packers. It's that simple. Alan Lazard's not scaring anybody. A.J. Dillon, cool story, dog. Christian Watson, we're going to see. Randall Cobb, older than Gandalf, out with an ankle injury, knee injury, something like that. Robert Tonyan, love him. Top 10 tight end, one of my favorite guys to watch play. But he's not a guy that's going to be able to carry that offense. If Justin Fields can continue to run the ball effectively and not turn the ball over, I know he had the pick last night and he fumbled 4 times. They didn't lose any of them, but he fumbled 4 times. Got to put that ball away, kid. I like the Bears, at least thinking about it right now.
Connor Weaver, what's up, Connor? Hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Every year that the Phillies have won the World Series, there has been a financial crisis. Needless to say, Phillies are going to win. Phillies are going to win, boys. Phillies in 6.
Well, which one precedes the other?
Yeah.
Is it does the financial crisis precede the
that
Phillies
happen
winning?
and then the Phillies win?
Because this determines on who I pull for in the World Series.
Well, look, I already spent $350 at the grocery store yesterday getting like a thing of mustard, 2 things of cheese, and a steak.
You need to get this off your chest. You've been talking about this a lot.
Nah,
if you
look,
really need
I'm
to get
so
off your
pissed.
chest, let's go
I'm
ahead
so
and do it.
pissed. You fill up the bottom part of your grocery cart, guaranteed over $200. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Went to Kroger yesterday. Arm and a leg. Like just to be able to halfway fill up your fridge. It's so ridiculous right now. And it transcends everything. Transcends Democrat, Republican, white, black, Asian, American, African American. It transcends all that. You can't go to the grocery store and fill up your cart without having to spend a paycheck, or having to go to the gas tank to fill without having to spend a paycheck. Speaking about needing to get fired, there's some people need to get fired here in 2 weeks. I'll tell you that much. You're not winning, they fire you. Ask Matt Rule. Ask Brian Harsin. You're not winning, they fire you. You can't run the ball. You can't throw the ball. You can't tackle. You got other teams running into your own facility and you won't stop them.
Hey,
Goodness gracious.
we're sending aid to Ukraine, though. Okay, Jake? So
It's just, God, we're the stupidest.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole firing of Brian Harsin thing. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
We'll see. Let's go to Tempo. There has been an investigation going on.
in the chat?
Into the rugby
into the rugby ball.
Yes.
Okay.
But believe me.
Investigation ? Search continues ? Roy Orbison ?
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, ever catch that gorilla escape from the zoo?
That's a water boy
Punch you
fan
in the eye?
there.
So let's go to the Flaming Dragon.
Okay, I'm going to be walking up to the border.
The
That's
Flaming
fine.
Dragon?
The Flaming Dragon.
I thought that was you,
That is me.
but it's not Friday. So.
Well, there's actually the Flaming Dragon. There's actually a handle in here that says David Cone.
Really?
Yeah.
You plotting on us,
Leave
boy?
Russell Wilson alone. I haven't seen you. Are you?
Is that no, I haven't been is that Darby Lou in there today?
I don't know.
What's she-
It says, hashtag Ask Crane & Co. What is the meaning of life? Dracarys. That's what the meaning of life is.
Dracarys.
Easy. Easy. Next question. You got a hard one in there?
Let's go to Poison.Alley. Said, so my husband wants to sound like he watches sports even when he doesn't. What can he say at the water cooler without looking like an idiot?
Well, first off,
perfect
watch this
question.
show.
Yeah.
Here's what you say. Somebody comes up to you. Now, when it comes to different sports, you got to know different things. Anytime they ask you a basketball question, say it's going to come down to who makes the most free throws. That's what it's going to come down to. Who does the fundamental things at the free throw line? When it comes down to football, let's talk about the line of scrimmage. All right? Here's what he needs to say. And he's looking at him and says, look, it's pretty simple. If you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run, you're not going to win. Then walk away like this. Then walk away.
Yeah.
Then you walk away.
I love it.
Say life's too short to take the under. You know,
That's another good one.
there you go.
Just watch us.
Good teams win.
I was watching Crane & Company
great
yesterday.
news cover.
Just start your sentence with, I was watching Crane & Company yesterday, and then you're already off to a good
Just
start.
go to the water cooler.
And then stare at them.
Go to
Just
the water
say that.
cooler, scream, I'm Flaming Dragon, then knock the top off it off and run away. All right, let's go to Kyle Jenkins. What's up, Cal? He says, I'm about an hour behind, but Chat Master asked for violence. I did.
Yes.
I'm
and
a
you
bitter,
are an hour behind.
I'm a bitter Yankees fan right now, and the Astros should be the most universally hated team in baseball. changed my mind. You're right, Kyle. They should be. One, a bunch of cheaters. And two, the second thing you should hate the most is Yankees Twitter. Hashtag get them banned. Hashtag where's my apology? Hashtag I want it written in a video. Hashtag I'm done.
All right. Hashtag one more question before we do that.
All right. Let's go to Midnight Crane to Georgia. I'm pretty sure he was playing pickleball earlier this morning.
Really?
Chad, he said, hey, guys, I'm going to go play pickleball. I'm going to go play back. I'm a big pickleball guy.
I want to play.
It's so fun. You're too tall.
No. I've heard that.
You're too
How is he
long.
too tall to play?
Don't you NASA me. Don't you NASA me. NASA already tried to tell me I couldn't be an astronaut when I was 11 years old. Now you're telling me I can't even enjoy a
you're
nice game
11.
of pickleball?
Your brain wasn't developed enough to be an astronaut yet.
That's what ended up happening. I found out later. It's like, hey,
It's still not.
yeah, exactly. It was like, NASA, the reason I'm not an astronaut isn't because of my height, all right? It's because I'm not smart enough. So joke's on you. There you go.
Coach said I wasn't 11.
Don't make me
I was
throw this
6'11".
football at you.
Hutton, I didn't say written in a video. I said I want a written apology, and then I want an apology on a video.
You can write stuff in a video.
Okay.
You turned on the
I
computer.
don't. Okay, I did ask for violence, but today's not today. Well, today is the day, I guess. Whatever. That's
Yeah,
fine.
God, you're falling apart.
I'm not. You're falling apart.
All right, let's go to our bets
that
real
shit.
quick. Then we'll get into fantasy
falling
results. Guess what? No football tonight.
Oh, man.
No baseball tonight. Not betting the NBA. But
Hockey.
we will
I am.
bet NHL. Look, you would think Colorado Avalanche, just coming off a huge Stanley Cup victory tour, new season, new phone, same people, going to the Rangers. You would think the Avs are going to roll them up, right? Ha! You would be wrong. Give me the New York Rangers. More dangerous than the Texas Rangers tonight. Plus 220 at minus 1.5 on the puck line. Then give me Florida, Chicago, Little Panthers, Blackhawks. That'd be a hell of a fight. Under 7, minus 120. Conathan.
I'm going to take the Avs, boys. Avs money line, minus 110. And then I'm also going to go with the Calgary Flames money line, minus 150. They're hosting the Penguins. I believe both of those teams are 4-1 right now. If you want to watch top-notch hockey tonight, look at the Flames and the Penguins.
Now, if you want to watch top-notch hockey, you watch our buddy Ryan go play hockey on Thursday. Shout out the Rhino.
All right,
Papa Reese.
Give me
What's up,
Tampa Bay
baby?
Lightning money line.
Taking Lightning?
I think it's minus 130.
Ooh, you're bet buds.
With
You always?
Baby Cone.
You and Baby Cone.
All right, let's go. And
You
then
have
I'm
a beat
taking Luka Doncic double and to win against the Pelicans. No Zion.
All right, Baby Cone, like I said, he's bet buds with you. He's going to take the Lightning money line. He's going to take the Blackhawks plus 1.5 at a silky minus 120. All right, everybody, please turn your attention to the screen and look at this picture. Blaine, including you. Blaine, I want you to look at
I'm
this.
looking at the chat, dude.
Blaine, I want you to look up at this screen right now, and I want you to tell me.
You beat me without Jalen Hurts and Cooper Kupp.
Here we go with
Congrats,
the
bud.
excuses.
Congrats.
I didn't make an excuse having a
Congrats.
one-chip challenge.
You beat the replacements. Congrats, Keanu Reeves.
Well, that's fine. I didn't
Keanu
complain when
Reeves.
Derrick Henry
See you in
didn't
the
play last
playoffs,
week, and I
bud.
lost to Knowles, and now I got to eat a chip that they set on fire with
I'll see you in the playoffs. All right, see you in the
With a
playoffs.
spell, they let the Ice Queen drop a spell on that. So yes, I beat Blaine. It was a good game for a little bit, but feeling good. Tied for second
No one
round.
scores a touchdown. I score 113 points and nobody on my fantasy team scores a touchdown.
Look, play better.
I mean, grow up. You're all fired. Get off. Get out.
Get off your lawn.
Yeah.
All right, David. Look at that. Hey, you slapped Daddy Walsh.
Go and tell him,
Man.
Dave. Go and tell him.
Look,
Talk your
look,
itch.
You already told everybody
Talk your
in the office.
itch.
Go and tell
Yeah,
him.
talk your itch.
Look, for those who haven't heard yet, 201 points on the fantasy
you
team
freaked
this year.
out.
I mean, look, 201, 84. Walsh put up 91, though, 91-70. So what is a victory? That's what it looks like right there.
Yeah, you want to see real
201 points.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we just need to keep this going. We need to keep this going.
you want to talk about mutilation? That's a mutilation right there. Oh, we got Michael Knowles.
Wait, Team Morning Wire, Team Knowles.
And we're
lost to Dallas.
canceled.
All right, guys. All right. This was fun. I had a great time. It was a good journey.
Well, I can say the word mutilation.
I guess. Were
Yes.
you a 7-footer at 11?
Huh? 6'6".
What do you think he shrunk? All right, Clavin beat Shapiro. Clavin,
All right.
yes.
So this
go
is
over
how this
Joe.
one went down. Like
Go over
this right here was unbelievable. So Mr. Clavin, he's still getting to know everything. He forgot to play a defense, right? He forgot to play a defense last night, but he had
Are you
Ramondre.
calling him old?
No, what does that have to do about?
Oh, no,
being
I'm just
old?
saying. Just saying.
It's in his prime, okay? We forgot to play a defense, or maybe he purposely didn't do one because he wanted to beat Ben handicapped. I don't know. Maybe they had their own wager. Wages
Power
of
move.
ignorance. I don't know what he was doing. Didn't play a defense, but had Ramondre Stevenson last night, who ended up putting 23 points up. Now, Ben, in a very high IQ play, picked up the only other defense that was available to sit on his bench. So he picked up the Bears defense on his bench, and he was playing the Patriots defense, who did end up having 8 points.
That's
high IQ play.
Oh,
Mr.
man.
Clavin still beats Ben Shapiro 103 to 96.
That's the worst thing when you make the right decision and it doesn't work out. You know, that was the right decision. I tried to do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
You had a hurt quarterback, so I tried to snatch all the quarterbacks out of the free agent thing, so you had to go out there and basically just Eddie Graham this thing. But no, make sure, guys, we have a landing page you can go see. It's coming down to the wire. It is a log jam up at the top. This is going to be fun. Remember, the loser has to go sit courtside at a WNBA game. Guys, I know. Cruel and unusual. I know, but we'll find a way. Real quick.
Yeah, I was thinking about bringing Hash to the WNBA game, see how it goes.
You should go to a Russian game and bring it.
You're right. All right, poll.
Poll.
Who is winning the World Series, boys, Astros or Phillies?
Astros, 71%.
There are a lot of anti-Astros people in there. I'd say they're going to keep it in the NL East. Let's go Phillies.
Ooh, Astros, 70%.
Ooh, Jake is dialed in. That's a
Well, you know what? I
Hawkeye
actually
right
like that. I'm glad they didn't let the anti-Astros sentiment
Look, the
creep
Booster
in. They
Club
said, look,
understands.
this is who I think is going to win the World Series. They voted that way, and then the chat reciprocated.
They can be
that.
emotional, yet practical.
That's the point. And I'm proud of them for that.
I'm too.
All right, M. Hutton, LOL, Blaine, all love, man. I'm a disgruntled Dodger fan. We can hate the Trastros.
The Trastros.
Bro.
Hey, all love, bro.
That 2017 team, you could say that was the best Dodgers team they've had that year.
I mean, the Dodgers,
That could have been the best Dodgers team.
The Dodgers are the 90s, early 2000 Braves, man.
All right, SBG, faux life. Do you think the NCAA should step in and do something about these insane we kind of talked about this earlier. These insane coaching contracts with coaches get fired for poor performance. For example, Jimbo Fisher, if they were to fire him, someone needs to do something because these coaches should not get paid out as they do for performing poorly. Jimbo Fisher, rub your eyes, hashtag Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah, in a perfect world, if everything was even and you didn't have to match buyout with buyout, it'd be great to say, you know what, here's your contract, here's some incentives, you hit those incentives, we'll pay you this. But right now, what the market is showing is that you will not get what people consider a top-tier coach unless they have the buyout. The coaches have the leverage right now. Until that flips in the market, they're not going to stop doing it. These agents aren't going to stop pushing for that because, again, it's keeping up with the Joneses. You see that with coaches. You see that in recruiting. You see that in facilities and everything that goes into these programs because there's so much money and there's so much emotion invested into these. But speaking about investing emotion, why don't you invest a little bit of emotion in that like button? Make sure you sub to our channel. Follow us on all social medias, including TikTok, which is really blowing up. It's coming down the wire here in fantasy. Really appreciate the Booster Club as usual. And like the chances of Bailey Zappe replacing Mac Jones, we're going.
We'll see.
Gone.